What's up, guys? So, in my last vlog, I talked about how the my computer had messed up, and I had to go out and buy my new pre-built system. It's from Digital Storm. I guess it's the Aventum 3 is what I guess this one is. It's got an i7 8700 non-K in it, a mini ITX board, a GTX 1060 6 gig. It's a pretty good little system. I'm using it right now currently just for school and for my video and photo editing. So this is the system. It's behind the camera. It's the system that is making all of my videos now currently that are on YouTube. It runs really good. I like how smooth it runs, how fast it uploads and renders, and ever since I upgraded my internet from 200 to 400 megabits, it hasn't made a huge improvement. Really, all that's done is just open the bandwidth that I can have 4 systems running 100 megabits. But the fact of if I'm doing video editing, it actually allocates a lot more bandwidth to that, and it's pretty nice. But so here I've got I don't know if you can see it from that angle, but I've got my new PC case. Basically, what I did was I went to Micro Center and I bought a new case. Because I wanted to slowly upgrade my gaming PC and start doing some more things to it, but I don't really have I don't have the money at one time to just do a full huge system build. So I'm just gonna kind of do things slowly over time. So like I said, I bought a new case first, and then while I was there, I bought a new motherboard because the problem that I was having with my system wasn't anything to do with any programs or anything else. It was really more so just the fact that for some reason my G.Skill RGB RAM got corrupted somehow. I don't know what program did it. I guess apparently the RGB lighting controller is something to do with it. Sometimes corrupts the RAM. It just depends. It's kind of a gamble. I'm gonna do some things. I still have it sitting up there. I'm gonna do some things to the sticks and see if I can. I watched a guy on a YouTube channel that he was able to go in and rewrite the coding or whatever inside of the RAM, and it basically fixed his sticks without having to send them off RMA. So I'm going to go ahead and try and do that with those. But when I found out they were corrupted before I started all this, I wanted to make sure it was the RAM and not just my old motherboard's RAM slots or just something weird like that. So I went and bought a new motherboard and put it in the system. Put everything in, everything was turning on and had power. The fans were spinning and everything, but it wouldn't boot. And it was weird because my corrupted sticks would still boot in the old motherboard, but after like 30-45 minutes of using the computer is when I would get the blue screen. This time it just wasn't booting at all. And none of my peripherals had power. It was just really weird. I tried everything. I moved everything. I unplugged everything except for the CPU, power supply, and RAM, and it all came down to the same conclusions. It just wasn't working. So I took that motherboard back, returned it, got another motherboard, basically the same one, but it was an MATX instead of the ATX version, and put it in the system. Same thing, except for this time I started boot looping. So I took the RAM out, tried it, and it did the same thing as the last one, except for this time no RAM. So I'm confused. I'm at a loss for what's going on here. And so basically, I took that motherboard back and said, forget it. I'll just keep using the old system. I'll buy new RAM, and we'll move on. So I bought new RAM, and system runs perfect. There's no blue screens. It was definitely the RAM that was messing it up. So like I said, I'm gonna try and fix those 2 sticks. But what I figured out is I talked to one of the guys at Micro Center, and I really feel like an idiot right now, so please in the comments if you would like to just roast me for not knowing this when I probably should have. The motherboards that I was buying were 1151 sockets, so my i5 6600K was fitting, but they weren't the same chipset. So they were for 8th and 9th gen processors, and I'm using an older generation processor. And so the problem was literally the fact that I should have kept the motherboard and then bought like another i5 from the 8th gen or 9th gen. So yeah, I feel really stupid about that, and I feel like anything that I knew about computers is just out of the window, and I should just give up on computer building in general. No, I'm just kidding. But so now what I've done here is I bought a new motherboard, new processor, and some RGB things to put in the system. I'm going to move some things around in here and basically just build a new system. And then after that, I'm going to try and see if I can fix these sticks of RAM, because the new ones that I bought are non-RGB, just regular sticks of RAM without heat sinks. And I would like to keep them as cool as possible. And so I'm going to try and get this others back in. And then moving forward from there, I have two 8 gig sticks of DDR4, and in my video editing work PC, excuse me, I've got 12 gigs. So what I would like to do is fix the RGB sticks, put them in the gaming system where there's going to be a bunch of RGB and whatnot, and then take these 16 gig sticks, switch them out for the 12 gig sticks, and then use the 12 gig sticks in another build that I'm going to do. I'm going to try and build a home server, because right now I've got a NAS unit that I use as my backup cloud for all my videos and stuff, but it's not at all the speed that I would like it to be. So I kind of want to build a home server system out of an old system. I've got a bunch of extra cases, and I'm going to use this old motherboard and this old processor in the new case, and then go from there and start building up a system. I'm going to get a new graphics card for this, because this one only has the 1063 gig. I would like to upgrade to the newest 20 series, but that's going to be a little while. So eventually this graphics card is going to go in the server build, and then I'm going to put some hard drives and stuff in there. But that's a totally different video. So we're going to move forward with this one. I'm going to try and get some footage as much as I can, try and do some B-roll. It's just me here, so it's not going to be very good. But I'm going to show you guys what I've got as components, and we're going to go from there. I'll pick you guys back up here in a second, and yeah. Alright guys, so here's my new components that I'm going to be using. As you can see here, I've got the Core i3-8100. This computer is only going to be used for gaming, so I really don't need anything with any more than 4 cores. This is going to do just fine at running just the games. And everything else that I'm going to be doing, watching YouTube, uploading videos, stuff like that, is going to be done on my work PC right here. So I got the Core i3, 9100F. I apologize about that. I had thought that I had the 8100, but it appears that they gave me a different processor. Actually, I bought the 8100. I did not realize that. This is the 9100F. Okay, cool. That's kind of a plus for me. Thanks, Micro Center. I also didn't notice this, so maybe that's a trade-off for the fact that they gave me a better processor. I don't know. This is just some RGB things that I've got here that I'm going to put in there. It's just a controller and one strip and some extenders and stuff. And then here I've got the Z390 Aorus Pro from Gigabyte. It's got RGB fusion and stuff like that. And this is my gaming system here. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 RGB fans in here, and like I said, I'm going to try and replace these sticks with the RGB sticks, and this is going to be my gaming system. Eventually I'm going to do a hard line, water cooling and stuff like that. And like I said, when I move some things, I'm going to be moving this up top because I don't like how hard this is pulling. It's just too far of an angle. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get these going and get this build started. What's up, guys? So just like I said the other day when I was going to be putting those components into my system, it took me a little while just to get it all figured out and everything. There was an issue with the fact that I changed hardware and that Windows, my key wasn't wanting to activate after I had changed hardware, which it's happened to me before, and I just called, I talked to Microsoft on chat finally. It took a while to get the agent for some reason, but they were able to give me a key. They gave me a new key, and I didn't have to pay for it or anything. And I got my system up and running and everything, and right now that's what I'm currently using right now, just to make sure everything runs fine and whatnot. But so earlier, when I was talking about what was wrong with my other system, it wasn't the motherboard, it wasn't the processor, it wasn't any of that. Like I said, though, it was the fact that I was trying to put a 7th gen and a newer generation motherboard was one of the problems as to why the two motherboards didn't work. But it turns out that the RAM, like I said, was bad. And it was my G.Skill RGB RAM, and it was messing up my other system, my old motherboard and everything. So I bought 2 new sticks of 8 gig RAM, just, $55, like 2600 megahertz or whatever, DDR4 RAM, which isn't very good, but it was just something to get me by until I could do a new system and everything. And as you saw previously, I did go buy new parts. Those are in the system right now, and I will show you. We'll cut over to some B-roll showing the computer and everything that's inside of it, the new motherboard and processor and some of the RGB stuff that I put in there and whatnot here in just a second. But what was weird, though, is that, like I said, I wanted to use this Typhoon program that I had seen from YouTube. A kid had used it to fix his RAM by rewriting the code that was on there, basically resetting the RAM. So I put the 2 sticks in to do that. And before I did that, though, I just wanted to make sure 100% that the RAM was going to blue screen my computer, and that was the problem, was those 2 new sticks. And I put them in, and I let my system run for like basically all night last night. Came back in, no blue screen. Nothing had happened, nothing reset. The only thing that happened was that the monitor turned off because it went into sleep mode. So now I'm kind of confused because I don't know if the RAM's bad or not. I did download the Typhoon program to run a error check to see if there was any bad sticks, and all 4 sticks checked out. So now I have 32 gigs of RAM installed. I don't need 32 gigs. I'm a little upset that I had to go buy the new RAM when I should have just upgraded the system to begin with. But yeah, so now what I'm going to do with the 2 new sticks of 8 gig RAM is I'm going to put those 2 in my work PC, the one that I do my video editing and schoolwork and stuff on. I'm going to take the 12 gigs out of my work PC after I put the 2 8 gig sticks that I just recently bought, because my RGB sticks are fine for the moment. And I'm going to take the 12 gig out of the work PC, which I'm pointing over here because it's behind the camera. And I'm going to put it in my old motherboard and my i5 6600K. I'm basically just going to build a server build, so now I need to go buy another power supply. Nothing too, high or whatnot, but I need a power supply and a couple hard drives, and I'm going to put those inside of my old build, and I'm going to basically just do a server build off of that. I'm going to probably put Linux on it or something like that and run a server build out of that, because I have a couple extra cases and an extra motherboard and RAM. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to give you an update on what had happened with my PC, because like I had said in my last video, that's why I bought this new PC, and then it turns out that apparently the RAM wasn't bad. So I don't know. It was just a whole long, confusing journey, but everything's all cleared up now. The only issue I'm having right now, which if somebody could maybe drop a link or something in the comments, my Steam won't open certain games. Like Rocket League says that it's opening and then syncing or synchronizing, and then it just doesn't open. Same with Borderlands. I just bought 3 Borderlands games to catch up with the newest one that's coming out, and they don't open either. But a couple of my other games, like Star Trek Bridge Crew and like my Batman game and stuff like that, those will open just fine. So I don't know. I've tried uninstalling the game, reinstalling. I tried uninstalling Steam completely off my system. I put it in. I have 3 drives in here, my operating system, and then 2 extra hard drives. I tried putting it on each one. Nothing. So I don't know. It's kind of confusing to me, and I don't. There's been people that have said they've had the same problem, and I've done all of their fixes to do it. Everything that I could find on the internet, I've done, and for some reason, it's not working. So if you guys have any help on that one, it'd be greatly appreciated. But yeah, I feel like I've been talking way too much as it is right now. So let's go ahead and cut over to the B-roll. So there you have it, guys. That's the system. It's really nothing special right now. Like I said, it's just an i3. And it turns out that the 8th gen 8100 is the exact same processor as the 9th gen 9100F. So they gave me the 9100F box. The processor says 9100F on it, but CPU-Z is registering it as an 8100. There's a few other programs like Cinebench that registers it as a 9100F. So I don't know. I mean, I like I said, they're the same processor, so it's not that big of a deal. Like I was saying before, this is just doing games. This is not overclockable. I really didn't need anything over the top for the moment. When I finally go do a hard line cooling, which I want to do on my work and gaming PC, maybe then I'll upgrade to something bigger, but for right now, everything I have in the system is just fine. Here soon, I am going to be upgrading the 1063 gig to something, maybe a little higher. I've been looking at a Titan Black, which is about the same thing as a 1066 gig, so I don't know. I'm probably just going to leave everything how it is for the time being, and then maybe upgrade later. But yeah, so everything that's in there right now is exactly what I need, so thanks for tuning in, though, guys. I'll catch you guys next week with another episode. Hopefully it'll be a little longer than this one and maybe a little bit more entertaining. Next week on the 19th, which is a Friday, my cousin, he owns he's doing a personal training business, and he's wanting to do some video of working out and whatnot. And my other cousin that I work for doing graphic design also wants to shoot a commercial here soon, so I got a lot of projects coming up that hopefully I can show you guys some good photos and footage and whatnot. I've got a couple weddings coming up that I'm going to be shooting some footage at. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.